सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people, on this wonderful, beautiful fall day. Out for my walk again. Not so sunny today, but still beautiful and just comfortably cool and warm at the same time. I love it. This morning, I'm really inspired to talk about how in Krishna consciousness, there are absolutely no excuses. It's insane. If we look at the teachings that we're given in our sampradaya, if I look at all of every Leela, every book, the Bhagavatam, the Gita, Krishna book, which is from the Bhagavatam, but you know what I mean, all these books, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, which are also small summaries of other books. But if we look at all these books, and we look at the Mahabharata, everything that we're looking at here, there's so many ways, and there are so many ways to build a relationship with Krishna. In one of those books, the Nectar of Devotion, there are 64 principles in order to connect. And I don't know, I was talking to my husband Lex about that, and we were talking this morning about, he had read somewhere that there are millions and millions, and actually if Krishna is everything, then Krishna is everything, right? He's in and of everything, even us humans and the grass and the rocks and the water, we're all part and parcels of the same components. And so, I mean, I quite like this. You know, even demons, if you're just thinking of Krishna, if you hate Krishna, doesn't matter. No matter what it is, Krishna sees that. If you think of Krishna, even these horrible demons get like blessings from Krishna when they die because they've thought of him in some way. So there's truly like not one excuse to not have a connection with Krishna. And you know, and just as there are millions of ways to do that, you know, I think in our sampradaya we have specific ways. And if you're a conformist by nature, then you're totally all set. There's like absolutely it's all laid out for you. You don't even have to think. You just got to do it. And if you're nonconformist, well, see, this is where I'm getting into the dangerous zone. I am a nonconformist, and not because I just like needless rebellion. It's nothing to do with that. It's just I need to be. I'm just the kind of person, and Krishna loves me too, that needs to experience things in my head, in my hands and feet, in my life. I need to live through them to believe them. Oh, ye of little faith. And I mean, not to believe them, but to have them in, you know, in all of myself, my body, mind, and spirit. And you know, it's really important for me to look at all of these different ways, you know, and instead of concentrating on the ones that I don't relate to try to look for the ones that I do relate to. There are many stories, we call them Leelas, that I find on the surface when I'm just thinking materially, actually, and experientially, that I don't immediately relate to. Because let's face it, what do I have in common with, I'm from New York City, materially, I'm from New York City. I'm a city girl. I did all kinds of drugs. I did everything I wanted to do. I was a feral child. And then all of a sudden you have these like innocent gopi girls from Vrindavan. What do I have in common with them? How can I possibly think that's something that I could seriously, like, on the material level, have something in common with? Let alone like when I hear like men trying to get that thing with the gopis, that rasa, that mood that they have. It can be challenging. But what it boils down to, and this is the interesting thing, no matter what story you tell me, and yes, these stories are pure stories of the essence of Krishna, the essence of a mood to love Krishna, to connect to Krishna. And the commonality, funny enough for me, well, first of all, let me back up. I'm going to rewind here for a second to sort of set the mood. So I've always had this, first of all, I was raised an atheist Jew. And Jews, as we know, have no image of God. It's in a way impersonal, but not really. But we don't have pictures of God. So the pictures of God that I, throughout my life being in the Western world, came through Jesus and Mary and all of this stuff in the Bible. And so this was always something really interesting to me that I like. I always had this fascination, especially with Mother Mary. And it was sort of a very not intellectual fascination. It was a mood fascination, if I'm making sense here. And the more I dove into what that story is, especially going more into the orthodoxy of Catholicism, there's a form of Mary called Our Lady of Seven Sorrows. And again, I'm not a scholar by any means. Mostly when I speak, it's always about experience and the essence of things. So correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel the need to correct me. Mother Mary and Our Lady of Seven Sorrows, she has each dagger in her heart. I'm sure you guys have seen the daggers in the Sacred Heart. And these are all of her, the things in life that she experienced that hurt her to her heart. Watching her son die on the cross, and as being one of them. And each of these things, she still had this actually only increased her love and devotion to God. And for me, that is worshipable. And this is what, and this is how I got my understanding of the gopis. Was the mood of the gopis is the worshipable. Maybe the story is not as relatable as in this Western body, in this modern world. But the essence of that has always been the most interesting part of it. That's why I've always, and I don't even care, please don't even start with the whole Mother Teresa, she was a bad person. I don't care. Her mood was worshipable. I read her books. The mood that she had for Jesus All of that is the mood I want to have for God. That's where I relate. That mood. If I can't worship Krishna himself, then I can worship people who worship him. I don't mean the people, but the mood that the people worship in. And that is amazing for me. And I long for that. I long for that mood. And I get it. I receive that mood often. And it's as if I'm being touched by Krishna. That's how it feels to me. When Krishna's like, you want to be close to me? Look at these people. Look at how they do it. And, everything is accessible. Even Prabhupada says, you don't want to, I don't know, I can't quote him directly, but you don't want to do this, then do this. You don't want to do this, then do this. If you can't do this, then do this. There's no excuse. If you really want a relationship with God, Krishna, whoever that God is for you, for me it's Krishna, we're talking about Krishna now. If you really want that, there is infinite ways of getting it. And like I said, if your mood is conformity and you're able to follow direct instructions, then man, you're all set up. You're just set up for life. And for me, I guess I'm a conformist by choice. No, I'm a conformist by, wait a second, let me back up there. I'm a conformist by being beaten into submission. That's kind of how it's been for me. I conformed to the 12 steps real quick. As soon as I hit my bottom and just knew that I'm the all powerlessness, I am powerlessness, and the material life beat me into submission, and my own attachments and addictions beat me into submission. Much like Draupadi, when she was being disrobed, finally reaching out for Krishna. That's a story I super relate to. That's a story I experience. That's why I relate to it. I experienced that. I experienced being disrobed. And the robing was all of my anarthas. That endless sorry was anarthas, addictions, attachments. Horrible, and not even horrible, just all of the things, all of the material things. And when I was able to do that, I was able to reach out. And that is when I found the purpose of why I'm here. Why are we here? You can ask yourself that. Why are you here? Here on this earth? And the answers are infinite too. Well, actually, the answer for me is that I'm here to self-realize. To realize my position here. And to take responsibility for that. Like, it doesn't end there for me. It doesn't end with, okay, I self-realized. I know why I'm here. Full stop. No, like, that's just the door. And then the work starts. And I don't mean the work that, sometimes it has like a negative connotation, but I don't mean it that way. The unfolding, no matter, well, actually, I do mean it that way, because sometimes it is just work. That's just part of it. And then sometimes it's a joy. Being able to let things unfold. Being able to wear these things like a loose garment and just take them off when I don't need them. Having that choice. I always talk about that, having a choice. So, we say also in the program, if you're not willing, then be willing. Then be willing to be willing. And if you're not willing to be willing, then be willing to be willing to be willing. and so on and so forth. And I think that's exactly what Prabhupada said. Another complete crossover in traditions. You know, being worshipable, having things where you can, having people, figures, saints, people that you read about, having that in your life and being able to accept that or take that and experience that has been probably one of the most helpful tools, because I do believe we inherently have it. All of us have it inherently. And whether we choose to worship the material world and Maya or worship the higher things in life, the higher purpose here, we all have an inherent intelligence. And intelligence actually doesn't do it justice, but I would say the inherent knowledge of how to do that. And when we learn through other people's experiences how to utilize that inherent knowledge, man, we're set. So this could be a really long conversation, but I'm going to end it here because I think that's a lot of stuff to think about. And even I will continue this walk contemplating on that. And moreover, thinking about what can I do today to use that inherent intelligence and the example of the acharyas, the example of everyone in front of me, no matter what religion it's picked from, to be able to use that. How can I use that today? What can I do? How can I walk the walk? How can I walk the walk? How can I use that knowledge? That's what I'm going to ask myself today, and I'm going to practice it today. So everyone, I'm really glad I'm back. I'm really sorry that I took 4 weeks off. I was in the States. Everyone knows that. So, well, anyone who knows me, which is probably everyone who's listening, the few people. I've been in the States also doing service, and yeah, it was just felt like not the right time. I was collecting this knowledge in order to share it with you. Sometimes I need that pause of collection before I'm able to share. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm wishing you guys an amazing week. And I'll see you soon from India. I'll be talking from India. I'm going on the Radhanaswami Yatra. I'm sort of excited. I don't do well in crowds, so I'm reluctant, but I'm very happy and very fortunate to be able to go. And at the same time, a little reluctant of 15,000 people that'll be there, more. I don't know how many people are going to be there, but a lot of people. Too much for my taste. Too many. But everyone is there for the same reason. And that's to follow in the footsteps of our tradition, to get better knowledge. So if I go into that situation with that thought of everyone wants to be here just as I want to be here, and everyone would like to learn as much as I would like to learn, it makes it a little easier for me to tolerate the crowd situation. Anyway, so wishing you all a great week. Love you, and Haribol. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.